Hey everyone! Let me show you quickly how to use the trash kit. So if you're starting up with a fresh scene like this, you see nothing in here, you can easily load the trash kit into your scene with using the Blender append option. Just navigate to the place where you downloaded the file, click on it, head to collection, and then you append the ones with GeoNodes in it. What comes up will look like this. On the right side you got all the assets, here also in the asset collection, and on the left side you got a GeoNodes example. And as for the assets, if you want to place them manually by hand, you're free to do this. Just duplicate them or instance them around. Just make sure that if you want to use the manual approach together with the GeoNodes, once you're done with it, take them and put them into a new collection, please, just so it stays out of the GeoNodes calculation. If you have loaded everything into your scene, you can just add a geometry nodes modifier and select the trash kit. And you can see right away there is trash happening on top of the sphere. But it looks a little strange because it's quite a few pieces of trash. So what is happening here, the sphere still has transforms and everything is built to look proper in real world scale. So please make sure that everything is scaled to 1, except you want to actively play with the scale factor. Just go for apply and apply rotation and scale. And now you can see we got trash on top of our stuff. That's nice. That's what we want. Yeah, the modifier itself is really simple. If you set everything of the amount stuff to 0, nothing will be scattered. If you turn up the base trash, then you will get base trash. If you turn up grass, you will get grass. And that's the same with all the stuff here. Let's turn everything to 2, just for the sake of it. Next property in line is the seed. Every time you hit the seed value, you will get a different result. Might come in handy. Next in line is the scatter density. This is basically a multiplier for the influence on the normals. You can crank this up. So for example, if I would set this to 10, you can see it is basically, yeah, it is pushed. And there is a contrast value. If I crank this up, for example, to 0.6, you see only the upwards facing faces will get more trash. Well, then, in case you have really low poly geometry, you have a details subdivision, which is necessary because the meshes are evaluated on their vertex count. So, for example, if I use a plane like here, let's also give this a darker material. And if I add the geo modifier over here, first of all, it will look really strange because, as I just said, you have to apply rotation and scale. Rotation, by the way, because you can rotate the stuff. It will stay on the object and go with its rotation. It might come in handy, as I said. Yeah, so for something like this, which is really low poly, 2 triangles, it might give a better result if you crank up the subdivs a little bit. So let's go for subdivision of 5. And now something else will work, and that's the curve mode. As you have seen in the other clips, there is the option to paint with curves. Please make sure that you activate the use curves property only on one of these trash kit GeoNode modifiers, because else you will get duplicates on the curves, because the curves that you will find here below curves are shared by all of these nodes. So please activate it on only one of them. So let's activate it. Use curves 1. And now we can start painting stuff. Just go to the brush curve for the start and enter it, go into the edit mode. And if you have not already done it, you can go to view and enable the tool settings. And there once you have the draw tool picked, you can choose the option to paint on the surface and also go for polycurves, which give a little better performance in this case. You can also activate the stuff on the end panel under Tool. Okay, now since we selected the draw tool, just make a stroke and you can see directly stuff is appearing where we are painting. This can be controlled. You can go to the curve width and turn it up and turn it down, just to your liking. And you can also use the other stuff. For example, the grass curve, as the name says, paints grass. You can go to the large prefabs and you can paint really large assets. You can go to the prefabs medium, which is this barrel stuff and the paper boxes and everything. And you can go for the trash mix, which is basically a collection of all the stuff that's in, except the other stuff I just mentioned. As you can see, it works quite nicely. And another feature of this curve mode, it is independent of the mesh object that the modifier is placed on. So you can also paint on geometry that is far away of it, and it will still somewhat work. For the rest of the properties, you got an offset trash scatter. This is just shifting around the noise that is used for distribution of the assets here. Might come in handy. You got the hide scatter mesh option, also maybe sometimes handy. And you got viewport visibility, which is just to give you some extra performance if you build something and then decide you only want to see 10% of it. That's it. Have fun with this little GeoNode setup.